Hey everybody, welcome to episode 66, the Joys of Games podcast. We're recording this on Thursday evening, October 19th, 2017. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am the man from the future, the year 2049 possibly, Colin Wheeler. Hi, Colin.
I'm not a replicant.
I think I am.
Oh.
I don't really know. I might be.
You might want to watch yourself.
I've heard that before.
Just saying.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Same old, same old. We are in the thick of things in the video game world, as they say. There's a lot of stuff coming out.
Oh my gosh. The big day next week. It's the big one.
The big one.
Yep.
I feel like I am playing games almost every day. And, you know, there's times when I feel like not playing games for a while. I just get into that funk and nothing's striking my fancy, and I just kind of do other things, watch movies, Netflix, read, that kind of stuff. Yeah, video games have been pretty much all I'm thinking about recently.
Yeah, I'm in the in-between phase, at least for just like a couple weeks. So I finished up basically all the content I wanted to do in Destiny 2. I finished the raid. I did the Nightfall. I did all the exotic quests to get all the exotic weapons. I have almost every exotic weapon in the game. There's like 2 more that I'm missing. But it's not enough for me to chase those 2 to keep playing.
Sure.
So for the past couple weeks, I've been just kind of like waiting for Mario, basically.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like Wolfenstein, I keep seeing trailers for that, and I'm like, oh man, you know what? That game looks so good. I want to pick that one up too. I don't know if I'll get it day one, but man,
yeah,
I just want to kill some Nazis, Josh. I just want to kill them.
Oh, me too, Colin. Me too. I think that'll be like early next year for me. Like I'll give it a few months because there's so much I need to get out of the way first, and I know 100% if I buy that day one, I am not cracking that open for probably a couple months anyway. So I'm going to try to resist and hold back and buying it, but Assassin's Creed's also coming out next week.
Yeah.
And that is above Wolfenstein on my list, so...
See, I was more interested in Assassin's Creed for a while there, but I actually watched the awful 2005 Doom movie recently.
Ooh.
So here's the thing about that movie, is it's really bad, but it's super fun. It's a super fun, dumb movie that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But after watching that movie, it made me think like, oh man, I want to play Doom 2016 again. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Wolfenstein's coming out. I want to play Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Doom's coming to Switch in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I have Doom on my PC already, and then also there's getting Xbox One X enhanced stuff, so I might pick it up on Xbox One again. I don't know. Yeah. But I also really want to get Wolfenstein.
Sure. So. I get that.
But Mario is obviously the priority.
Have you seen Assassin's Creed movie?
Yes.
I watched it on HBO a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You went and saw it in the theater, right?
I did, yeah. It was... my father-in-law went and saw Assassin's Creed, and then everyone else went and saw something else that year.
Right. Here's my hot take on the Assassin's Creed movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It was just boring.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't corny. It wasn't badly acted. It wasn't bad writing. It wasn't bad effects. It wasn't bad choreograph. It wasn't bad music. It wasn't bad anything. Like, nothing was bad about it other than the fact it just wasn't interesting at all. And I can't pinpoint why that is, but like on paper, I should like it. Michael Fassbender, love him. He's great. Assassin's Creed franchise, fascinating. Like, it was just blah.
You want to hear my hot take?
Yeah.
The one thing that I love about Assassin's Creed games is when you're actually playing the history part.
Yeah.
In the Assassin's Creed movie, it was like 70% of it was in the real world. and only
Yeah.
like 30% of it was actually the cool part. And another thing that really bothered me about that movie was when they went into the past, they kept cutting back and forth from him in present, back
Yeah.
to the past, back to him to the present. I'm like, I do not need to see him in this robot machine. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in seeing that. So the editing in that movie is just awful. It's so bad.
Maybe there was that was it, the lack of immersion, like the fact that you never felt like you were back in time.
It ruined the movie for me. And like that's like Assassin's Creed, that's the coolest part. The worst part of the Assassin's Creed games is when you're in present and you're walking around just doing nothing. But they based the entire freaking movie off of that.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Huh.
Yeah, that movie bummed me out because I was like, man, it's got such a good cast. That and Warcraft, I think, was last year too. Those two movies, I'm like, finally, we're gonna get. Warcraft got this amazing budget, has a great director, some really good actors in it, and Blizzard is like behind it. And then it comes out, and you're like, I have no idea what I just watched.
Right.
None of this movie makes sense. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The movie's beautiful, but
Sure.
good lord, I couldn't tell you a single character or thing that happened in that movie.
Yeah.
And then Assassin's Creed came out, and I was like, well, Fassbender's amazing, and he hasn't done any, like, nothing I can think of. He hasn't done any bad movies, so he signed on to probably a good script, and then I saw it, and I was like, ugh, dude.
Yeah, I watched it on HBO, and I was like halfway into it when I realized that I was playing my Switch. Like, I don't even remember consciously picking up my Switch and playing, but I was playing Picross on my Switch. Which is definitely a game that you just play to zone out everything else.
Sure.
And it's not because you want to focus on the game, it's just because you don't want to think about anything. Right. And you just see numbers. Like, it's nothing. It's a nothing game. And I was like, wow, am I really doing this in the middle of this movie? So then, like, I tried watching the movie, and I kept going back to Picross. I'm like, yep, this is where we're at with this film. Mm-hmm. It's just blah. Unfortunate.
Yep. I think Silent Hill and the original Mortal Kombat are like the only good video game movies.
Curious about Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it looks promising. But,
yeah, so did Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, and so did Warcraft.
I think Jumanji is going to be a really good video game movie. So,
gosh, please stop. Please stop. Did you hear about they're talking about The Rock being Detective Pikachu?
Sure, why not?
I mean, yeah sure.
Yeah, I don't care.
He's going to be in the Rampage movie, so why not? We'll just put him in every video game movie.
Yes,
put
him in everything. Just any movie, Colin.
I mean, I like The Rock. Don't get me wrong, I like The Rock.
Yeah,
but
have you had too much Rock?
I don't know if I've had too much. It's just like he's doing everything.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor,
but he's not bad at it.
He's a good actor, but he kind of just plays himself.
Yeah,
like he doesn't really play anyone else but himself. So It's very weird that when they're talking about him being a Pokemon.
I mean, he was in Moana.
Yeah,
and he was himself in that.
You know what they should do? He should just be Sonic, and then when they do the live action Mario, he should just be Mario, and then when they do the Mario Sonic Olympics game, he can just be both. Like, it could just be an entire cast. It could be like Eddie Murphy in, all those Eddie Murphy movies.
If they ever remake The Nutty Professor, he is 100% going to be in that movie.
I would be on board with that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I would love to see that. It's just so weird, dude.
Okay. Let's jump ahead just 1 second here. We're joking about The Rock being like in every movie, right? He has definitely worked hard to get to this point in his career. Mm-hmm. Going back to the Scorpion King. Have you paid attention to how many movies John Cena is going to be in the next 4 months?
I mean, I don't really keep track of John Cena, so
he has 4 movies coming out in the next few months.
Are they all WWE movies, or are they actually like legit movies?
Daddy's Home 2. Ferdinand the Bull. It's an animated movie. He's the main character.
Okay.
There's some other movie some war movie or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. And then another comedy called Blockers, which is about a group of parents that get together and try to stop their teenage daughters from their sex pact that they make for prom night. All of them are like big mainline movies. And they're all coming out like within a few months of each other. It's like, how did we suddenly just get saturated with John Cena movies? Like, he's right on the heels of The Rock now.
I mean, he's definitely not as good as an actor as The Rock, but...
No, but, I mean...
I like him, though.
Would you have said that about The Rock when he was Scorpion King, back in the day? Like, it took some time for The Rock to get up to where he's at now.
I just watched him in Doom, and I was like, yeah, that was in 2005. He was still pretty good.
You remember Doom. Walking Tall?
Yeah, dude, I like that movie.
I liked it too, but I mean, his acting wasn't phenomenal.
I mean, that movie wasn't phenomenal.
Longest Yard?
I don't think I ever saw that one.
The Rundown?
I like The Rundown.
Yeah. Sean Scott was really good in
it. Dave Bautista, is that his name?
Bautista, yeah.
He's another one. Like, he was in Blade Runner, and like, holy crap, what Guardians. An incredible performance. And then also Guardians. Yeah. Another incredible
Here's the thing. People keep getting surprised by wrestlers being good actors. I need to remind everybody that professional wrestling is 100% about being a good actor.
It's real to me, damn it.
Colin, you can't be a good professional wrestler if you're not a good actor.
That's not true, because acting is completely different. Acting as a wrestler is completely different than acting as... in like movies and TV.
But what I'm saying is the best professional wrestlers, like in current day modern era wrestling, like I'm not talking Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, like modern era wrestling, the best performers, the best wrestlers, the biggest superstars are phenomenal actors. Like when it comes to making movies, sure, like they have to adjust and they have to, get into it. But being a professional wrestler isn't just about athletic skill. It's about telling the story, and it's also about being engaging and entertaining to the audience. Like cutting a promo. Like, you have to be able to cut a good promo on a consistent basis all the time in order to be that next level superstar wrestler. And like that goes far in your acting careers, being able to do that kind of stuff. So there's a direct correlation between really good wrestlers, popular big superstar wrestlers, and when they transition into movies.
I just, it's not my world at all, so I have no idea. Is there any other like upcoming wrestlers right now that are getting big? Because like John Cena, like I didn't watch wrestling when John Cena was popular, but I knew of John Cena. Same with The Rock. Like I watched WCW when The Rock and Stone Cold were like on the rise on the other side.
Well, a lot of them, like the top superstars now are still 100% with the company and doing wrestling, 350 days out of 365 a year. Like that's their entire life. So they don't have time to transition into movies. Whereas John Cena, he's been wrestling for 15, 16 years now. He's transitioning out of his career of professional wrestling and into something else, which is movies, which is what The Rock did,
Yeah.
And The Rock has come back every now and then for a match here, a match there, but...
I love that he does that, because I feel like he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now, and I feel like any other person that would do that would never come back. They're like, oh, well, I'm not going back to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there are plenty of big superstars now in the WWE, but you're not going to see them doing any movies because they are so 100% committed to their craft and their profession right now. Like Dave Bautista, he was only able to do Guardians because he had started to transition out of wrestling into acting. So, and since then he came back for like a few months type of thing. And that was kind of just like to cross promote, but to also, kind of have like one like final send off type of thing.
Is that his wrestling name or is it
his real actual name is Dave Bautista, Bautista.
Okay.
Like that is his actual legal name as far as I know.
Okay.
But his wrestling name, he went by Batista, Bata or Batista. So he dropped the U in like the heavy pronunciation and just made it straight up Batista.
Gotcha.
Like he debuted as Dave Batista, and then they're like, it's really weird that you have a first name. Like, let's just drop that and just Batista straight up like sounds more, primal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Does one last wrestling question?
Sure. Yeah, because this is our video game podcast talking about Xbox this week, but
That's right. Well, what 2K18 came out or is coming out or something? So
it came out
sort of
this week. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. Undertaker.
Yeah.
Did he pass away or did he just retire?
Neither.
Oh, okay, good.
So he was defeated at this last WrestleMania in April, and by this guy named Roman Reigns, who happens to be cousin of The Rock. Strong family lineage of the wrestling, from the Samoan heritage. Anyway, he beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, who Undertaker is notoriously always wins at WrestleMania. Undertaker's only other loss at WrestleMania was to Brock Lesnar a couple years ago. Blah, blah, blah. I digress. So, Undertaker lost. It was kind of shocking because nobody expected Roman Reigns to actually beat Undertaker, especially at WrestleMania. And it was the last match of the night. It wasn't for any belt or anything like that. It was just a one-on-one, straight-up match. And at the end of the match, everybody was giving him a round of applause. It was the end of WrestleMania. Everybody... it was like an entire weekend of wrestling. Everybody's just like emotionally drained at this point, and everybody's just going ballistic and giving him all these chants and round of applause and everything like that. And he ended up going and getting his hat and his jacket, and he folded them up and put them in the middle of the ring, and then took off his gloves and put those down in the middle of the ring and walked out. And presumably that was him indicating that that was his last match, that he was done. Since then, though, there has still yet to be any sort of actual announcement that he is officially 100% retired. Announcers every once in a while will say, like, he potentially retired, or he possibly had wrestled his last match, but there's still no definitive, that was last we saw and we're never going to see him again type of thing. So there's a chance we'll get like one last match with him that's like official, but there's also a chance, because he's a very private guy. He doesn't do many public appearances. He doesn't do interviews. He keeps to himself. He doesn't let anybody into his personal life at all. There's a chance he just walks off in the sunset and that's it. So we don't know, but one could assume that if it was his last match, that, it was a good one. But I think people at this point are kind of clamoring for a little closure. But in the wrestling world, that doesn't ever really happen unless a guy dies.
Look at Ric Flair.
Well, he almost died, so...
He is still alive. I have
Barely.
no idea how. He looks like... Honestly, man, he looks like his skin is melting off of his bones.
Well, last month he was in the hospital. He had serious medical condition. He was almost on life support, so...
My goodness, that guy.
Yeah.
He is quite resilient.
Yeah. But... that's wrestling for you. So, yeah, I mean, closure-wise, like, The Rock, I mean, he's pretty much retired, but at any point he could come back and have another match and be fine. So, there is no such thing as retiring in wrestling. Because even if you retire and you don't ever wrestle again, there's always still positions for you in the company. Whether it be an announcer or a manager or... random appearances here and there. Like, there's always something for you. Yeah. Xbox, Colin.
Oh, yes.
Xbox One X is coming out soon.
It is. Yeah, they've been actually talking about new features and new games that are getting the Xbox One enhanced. I don't know if you saw the video that Major Nelson and Albert Pinello put out, kind of explaining the Xbox One X like way better than they did before.
I did not, no.
Yeah, so the Xbox One X, they explain how it benefits 1080p owners.
Okay.
And by doing that, what it does is it does this thing called super sampling, and what that does is it adds extra color and extra shade, sometimes extra better frame rate on specific games. And then obviously with a 4K TV, you get those benefits plus the 4K resolution and like the HDR. But you actually will see an improvement on game load times. You'll see more textures, more shadows on at a 1080p resolution. Huh. So like if you were to have a high-end PC and you only have a 1080p monitor, basically that's the experience that you're getting with the Xbox One X. But if you have a 4K TV, you're also getting that experience just with 4K basically. And they added a bunch of I think there's almost 200 games now that are going to have that are Xbox One enhanced in some way, and that's either resolution, that's either frame rate, or that's better, like I said, better colors, better shading, depending on the game.
Sure.
So it made it so for me. I figured out a way with like finagling in-store credit and finances, and I was able to basically not pay out of pocket, like cash out of pocket for my Xbox One X. Mm-hmm. And I also have a 4K TV now, so like I'm pretty excited about it. But like when they announced the D3, I wasn't super stoked because I just felt like the message was just still very confusing. Like it still is like, oh, I have this at the time. I still had a 1080p TV. I'm like, well, what does this do for me? And I'm trying to think like, if I had this information, then would I be more excited? I don't really know. Yeah. But the Xbox is my main console, so it's like maybe like normal. I'm pretty when it comes to upgrading like to the slim models. I usually do that every generation, but when they announced it originally, I didn't want to do it. But now I'm pretty stoked for the system.
That is more exciting for sure. Because I don't have a 4K TV, so that does make me more interested in it, but I don't use it enough to justify upgrading for just that reason, you know.
Plus it's pretty pricey. Like it's very, I mean, you know, they said it right at the beginning, it's for like a smaller sector of the audience, and it's definitely for more like premium. And if it's not your main console, like I totally get it. Yeah. Like if I gamed on PlayStation as much as you did, I would probably get the Pro instead of the Xbox One X. Even though the Pro is like marginally better, I would still go that route.
I'm only thinking about the Pro just because mine sounds like a jet engine right now.
Oh, I know. I always think it's your fish tank, but then you're like, nope, that's my PlayStation. I'm like, oh man,
yeah, it's humming away. But yeah, I don't blame you for, especially without having to pay out of pocket. Like that makes it a no-brainer for you.
Yeah, not everybody obviously has that convenience.
Yeah.
But there are some decent trade-in deals and stuff for people that do want to upgrade. That'll get you, you know, $150, $200 off if you upgrade. So
yeah.
So that makes it like a $300 console, sort of, kind of, which is a little bit more bearable if like the Xbox One is your primary console. So
right. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I with it coming out so soon, like I know people that are in the Xbox ecosystem and pay attention to Xbox things are excited and paying attention to everything that's coming out about it. Overall, though, like I feel like the hype is about where it was for the PS4 Pro. You know, like it appeals to certain people, but overall, like the entire industry, it's going to make a small splash, but it's not going to change anything. You know, I still think Nintendo is completely dominating the dojo when it comes to news about consoles and anything really.
Well, do you see the NPD for last month?
Yeah,
they sold 2-1 for every other console. So I totally agree with you. I think it is going to do better than the PS4 Pro.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying like it's going to sell as much. I'm just saying like hype level and excitement level. Like I just feel like it's the conversation is pretty much where the PS4 Pro conversation was,
Yeah, for sure. It's like that niche
Mhm.
group of people are
Yeah.
very excited about it, and we'll pick it up. I I think overall, though, I think the Xbox One X is going to sell better than the Pro just because
Yeah.
of the features that they've explained. And it's like, they tout it all the time, and I hate buzzwords, but it's like true 4K gaming, like
Sure.
versus the PS4 is kind of an upscaled 4K gaming, which
Yeah.
So
I guess what it's lacking, or what not problem, but the issue with like both of these, mid console upgrades are the fact that the Xbox One and the PS4 regular are still in existence and still are going to be playing all the same games. So it's not like the jump from PS3 to PS4 or Xbox 360 to Xbox One. It's just like, well, it's all playing the same games. It's just these run them slightly better, and so the excitement is different. And I don't think we as gamers, as an industry, know what the appropriate response for these things should be.
Totally. Like, and the comparison that a lot of people make is the mobile comparison. It's like, I have an iPhone 6S, I could get a 7S, but it's just slightly more powerful, but it plays all my same games and it plays all my same apps, but I kind of want a more powerful phone, but at the same time, do I want to upgrade right now? I don't know. It's kind of the same thing, and I actually like it that there's more choice. I really do. Sure. I like it that they're not saying, well, this is the Xbox One 2, and you have to buy this to play Halo 6. Yeah. That would really, that would bum me out big time. Yeah. I would much rather have, iterative, you have, Xbox One, then Xbox One X, then the Xbox One X2 or whatever, but they still play, I guess they have to cut off at some point, but they still play if you have this system and back. And I love that they do the backwards compatibility, both with the 360, and then they're going to do original Xbox games. I think later this year. I'm not sure if it's this year or next year, but I just like that whole ecosystem just being in this one box.
I do start to wonder, though, with the extra development costs of them making, kind of a slightly dumbed down version, and the higher, fancier, all switches engaged version. If that will kind of, because PS4 Pro hasn't been out long enough, and none of the big titles have really happened yet, but if this will usher in a price increase for games as a whole, because they are having to put this extra development into making sure that they do run on day one Xbox One systems and the new Xbox One X system. They have to account for that. That is extra development time. Where is that going to start hitting the gamers, wallets?
The way I understand it is it's really simple to get it up and running, scaled up, at least on the Xbox One X. And I think the PS4 Pro is the same because they actually run off a very similar architect.
Yeah.
But the PS4 Pro is a little bit different because a lot of it, their main PS4 Pro games, like Horizon and Gran Turismo, they're not on PC, versus a lot of the Xbox One stuff, they'll build on PC.
That's true.
They'll build at the highest, quality possible. Then they scale it down to Xbox One, and then having Xbox One X is basically in between a really high-end PC and your Xbox One.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to develop for that system. I think with Sony, since they are, they're both hardware manufacturers, but Sony's known for electronics for years and years and years. They are willing to pay the extra amount to make their games look nice on the PS4 Pro, but then third parties, I've heard, have been having issues on the PS4 Pro, and that might be happening with Xbox One X too. It's just not out yet, so we don't know. But Prey, when it launched, it had no PS4 Pro support until 2 weeks after it came out or something. Destiny is another one that doesn't have HDR. They're just going to patch it later on. So that makes me think the PS4 Pro is a little bit more complicated than the X is.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
I don't know. Like the thing about it is like if you look at the price of a $60 title versus inflation over time, like technically games should be about $75-$80 now.
Yeah.
But the problem is our median income hasn't caught up, so people don't have disposable income to pay that amount. So that's why you're seeing these loot boxes. That's why you're seeing season passes. That's why you're seeing more and more DLC happen in these games, because these big AAA titles, they can't recoup the money back. So
Sure. It's just kind of funny and ironic that you say that we don't have the money to spend $75-$80 on a video game, but we spend $60 and then we spend $30 on a season pass or microtransactions. It's like we're paying that much and more so.
That's the thing is like if they raise the prices to $75, then I don't think they would need to do season passes, because like if you think of the season pass, like the percentage of people buying that is probably less than 20%.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would say probably 20. Yeah, 20% is probably
maybe capped out at 30 tops for like specific games, but like that's not very much. So
yeah.
But they did the $75, then they could easily have everything on disc, not do the DLC crap. But that's just, I shouldn't say crap because some DLC is awesome.
Yeah.
But not have it be something you pay extra for. Is what I meant.
Sure.
So, but
I don't know. We'll see. It's a changing landscape for video games, and
definitely
it's happening faster and faster each day.
I almost like another thing too, and this is obviously a little bit like apples to oranges comparison, but Nintendo's been doing this for years.
Yeah.
Like they've been doing the iterative console for years, like with the 3DS and the DS. Like granted they're not, it's a giant leap, but it's enough that there's some games that just chug on the original 3DS and like barely play unless you have the new 3DS. So
and the 3DS has like 3 games that like you could only play on the new 3DS.
Right.
You know, it's
one of them was a remake of a Wii game.
Yeah, it's weird, but I mean, yeah, Nintendo's been doing this. I guess like I don't know. Yeah, Nintendo's just always been different.
Their own thing.
Yeah,
it's their own thing.
Yeah,
that's why I'm curious what they're gonna do with. You know, they're gonna do some kind of Switch Deluxe or some kind of new Switch console, but what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a bigger screen? Because I think the screen is perfect.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a bigger screen.
It wouldn't work with the Joy-Cons either. Like, how would you do a bigger screen without it fitting the Joy-Cons? The only thing I could think of is them having like a better battery life or something. I don't know.
Better battery life, maybe a stylus.
Yeah. Maybe a 1080p screen instead of a 720.
OLED.
Yeah, that'd be really expensive, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, who knows?
Bigger built-in hard drive space.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Xbox. The biggest thing, my biggest complaint, and it's not really a complaint, but one thing I'm definitely noticing that I think might attribute to the lack of overall hype is just like the PS4 Pro, there isn't that killer app, that killer game that's launching alongside of the console that is like, you need to buy this game with this new system because this game is going to look amazing on this system. Like, all the games that are coming out in like the next few weeks and then the next few weeks after that, sure, they'll all look great on that, but there's not like that game that's going hand in hand. Like, even like a pack-in type of game would go a long way to getting people to be more excited. Like the people that are on the fence or that will just wait or whatever the case is, you know, it's just missing that one thing.
Yeah, I mean both systems this fall have nothing.
Yeah.
Like there's no big AAA title that people are going to go after. It's all third party stuff. So
Right.
And I totally agree. It's like, you know, it's hard to I'm excited about it because I have so many like back catalog games
Oh,
that
yeah.
are going to have enhanced versions that I never played. So
Right.
it'll be kind of cool to play them like in the best version possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's no killer app. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, and I don't know if you have updated your Xbox recently, but there is a new user interface.
And I updated it last time it told me to update it. So
okay. If you go in and update it tonight, you should, because I'm telling you now, man, it is as good as the PS4 UI now.
It better be.
It is stupid fast. It functions so fast. Do you remember the 360 blades?
Yeah, vaguely.
So 360 blades is like everybody's like favorite 360, like the Xbox interface, just because it was so simplistic. Like
Sure.
There's one tab for your friends, one tab for your achievements, one tab for games.
Yep.
They actually have that. When you press the Xbox button, it'll pop up, and then you can just scroll through different pages. You can also customize your pins a lot easier, and it's a lot easier to do it and a lot easier to navigate just everything. But the best part of it is the speed, because everything, it goes so much faster. Because I don't know if you've dealt with Xbox One, like the UI just chugs. It just does.
It's like, what are you thinking about? I just want you to go to the next page.
Yeah, it's like almost. I swear, sometimes it's almost as bad as the Wii U's, like in some cases. But like this new update is just a million times better. And if anybody has Xbox One out there and is listening, go into your settings, click update, and you will not be disappointed. It's amazing.
Cool. That's good. Good to know. Colin, I want to talk about a game.
Is it Knack 2 again?
How did you know?
Is it coming to Xbox One now?
I mean, it should.
They couldn't sell enough copies, I understand. Mark Cerny's like, oh, well, we didn't sell enough Knack 2, so now we're going to start publishing on Nintendo and Microsoft consoles. That's my best Mark Cerny impression.
It's pretty good.
It's not far off.
I mean, I can't recall the last time I heard him talk, but I'm sure, yeah, like that's spot on.
He's very soft-spoken.
I've heard that in the past.
No, I've heard it in his voice.
It's not what I want to talk about, Colin.
Oh.
It's not Knack 2.
Do you want to talk about Mugman?
Super Lucky's Tales.
Oh. Well,
no.
It was a good show up until
Colin. That's going to be the next Xbox episode, my friend.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's the killer app coming out on November 7th.
I'm not going to lie, that game looks interesting.
Sure, yeah. That's not selling Xbox One X systems, though.
No, if it gets decent reviews, I might pick it up.
Yeah. It's a budget title, right? That's not $60, is it?
I think it's 40. God, I hope it's not $60.
Come on, 40 is as much as I paid for Knack 2. Come on now.
I mean, it's the...
Come on now.
It's the Knack...
Come on now.
Anyway.
I want to talk about Cuphead.
Mugman.
Cuphead and Mugman.
Okay, thank you.
The best duo in the beverage industry to date.
For sure. I mean, I can't think of anyone better.
No, nobody, Colin. Cuphead is finally out. The game that I've been waiting pretty much my whole life for is finally out. And I just gotta say, Colin, it's up there with my Game of the Year discussion. Easily. I am so in love with this game. So in love. It is everything that I hoped it would be, that I thought it would be, that I expected it to be, and had already seen it to be from playing it at E3 2 years ago, and so much more. It is phenomenal, top to bottom, in so many different ways. It hurts my heart to not be playing it all the days, every day. And I need you to tell me how much you love it too.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I think the game is uh, beautiful. Like the animation is incredible.
Yeah.
The controls are a little bit wonky. I had to remap it like 3 or 4 times before I felt okay with it.
Yep.
Um,
Okay, I played through the entire first world before I even know you could remap the buttons. Boy, oh boy, talk about a life-changing experience.
the default is really weird. I don't know why they would put X to shoot.
I question who came up with that and why. Like, there has to be a story there.
Yeah, because I don't know anybody that likes the default controls. Not a single person.
No.
I like the aesthetic. I like the look. I like the tone. The story's really like kooky and funny, like a 1930s cartoon.
Sound?
Sound is phenomenal. I just don't like the game. I just don't like that gameplay. It's not fun to me.
That's the most disappointing yet understandable thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's just not for me. Like, I respect the hell out of it. Like, I think it is a fantastic game for people like you and people that enjoy that. It's the same way I feel about like every Rockstar game. Like, I respect what it's doing. The technology is amazing there. The gameplay is amazing there. Just not a game for me. I'm trying to think back of other like bullet hell like style games that I enjoyed. Like Contra is definitely one of them.
Contra wasn't nearly as hard though, ever.
No, this is like just
next level.
So here's the thing too about like I love Mario games. I am really bad at the super advanced Mario levels. Like I just don't have the coordination.
You're just
in my
not
brain.
good at video games, Colin.
Yes, that's 100% what it is. I just need to get good and do that. No, but like the platforming stuff.
Yeah, like
I have such a hard time with
the perfect pixel jumps. And,
yes, I have such a hard time with, and it is it's not to the fault of the game because the game is not broken. Like when I miss a jump, it's my fault.
Yep.
I don't feel like the game is broken. It is my inability to progress in the game that diminishes my enjoyment.
Yeah.
So I've been watching streams of the game. I watched the Giant Bomb stream, and I really enjoy watching other people play because it's such an interesting looking game.
Yep.
And there's such interesting like bosses and like the side levels that you can look at. I can't do it, man. I'm just not good. I'm just not good enough.
I've been trying to process this because you've told me this for weeks now that you just like hate playing the game, which hurts my heart. It really does. But I've been trying to wrap my head around. Is it like you just not spending enough time with it? You're not giving it enough fair shake? You being intimidated to get better at it? I've been trying to rationalize this since you told me. And sitting here talking to you about it and you waxing poetic about everything about it, but still hating it and not liking it and it just not being for you, I have figured out how I could feel better about this. This game to you is what The Witness was to me.
Yeah.
I loved everything about it, but I absolutely hated sitting there and trying to do the puzzles. The only difference is I was able to pull up a guide and cruise through those puzzles so I could see the end of the game. Cuphead, there's nothing that's going to help you get to the end of that game.
No.
You just got to either do it or watch people do it for you.
I will say that after watching, like I watched the Cuphead stream today, and after watching it, I want to go back and just give it one more shot.
Yeah.
Like I've tried, I think 5 times to beat that blue bouncing guy that like punches you and then turns into the grave.
Yeah.
I can't kill him. The only guy I've killed is the vegetable guy.
Okay.
The vegetable guys, I should say, and then like one other level.
Sure.
The one thing I didn't really tinker with, which apparently I should have, was the shop. So I should probably go in and buy something to...
But you need to beat the platforming levels first to get those coins.
Okay, which I haven't. I haven't done.
Yeah, that's the only way to get coins is to beat the platforming levels.
Do those weapons, do you get to keep them forever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can load up, because you could load up 2 different weapons in your arsenal, and you could change that anywhere, anytime when you're on the map screen. So if you go to a boss and you're just like, this boss isn't working for me. It moves too much, or whatever the case is. Like, you think there's a weapon that could do something better, back out of it, go to the map, which I wish you could be able to do it there on the fly, but whatever. And then you could load up whichever weapon that you think is going to be good. But you could, like I said, you have 2 different weapons. So, and you could switch between those weapons mid-battle consistently.
So it's kind of like Mega Man in that way.
Except Mega Man, like, you had to go to a pause screen and select a new weapon, whereas this is just a button press. Like, it just, you press RB or whatever you map it to, and it'll just switch in between weapons as quickly as you can push the button.
Oh, I thought you were saying you had to back out to the other screen.
No, because you could have 2 in your arsenal at any given time, but if you want to swap out one of those 2,
oh, I gotcha.
Then you have to do it in the map screen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because there's 5 different weapons that you could have.
I think I'm gonna try to do that. I think I'm gonna try to get a different weapon or a different, like, I know there's like dash abilities and stuff that you can get.
Yeah.
And then just give it one more shot, and if that doesn't fly, I'm just going to stick with my original opinion of that game.
What you want to... Here's what I suggest. There's this one guy that ran through... He recorded a flawless run through the game. So every single boss didn't get hit once, got A+ on every single level. Sounds crazy, right? Sounds absolutely insane.
Yes.
But I guarantee if you watch that and you watch it for the first few bosses and you understand what it takes to beat the bosses, you will approach those in such a different way that you feel like a god going into it. You're just like, I got this. There's going to be bosses that are just going to give you hell. Plain and simple. And that's okay. And honestly, like, maybe it's just not a game for you. Watching it, go for it, man. If you're going to watch anything, though, I suggest you look up the guy that did a perfect run through the entire game, because it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what the speedrunning community is going to be like for this game. Like, I love the awesome games done quick, guys, and that game has got to be on there.
The speedrunning is going to be tricky because there is only a certain amount of damage that you could do in X amount of time to each boss. You know, and each boss is a bullet sponge, essentially. So
right. Plus, you have to get like the best of the best have to get flawless runs too.
Yeah.
Because that's once they get hit, that's like a slight second delay of being able to.
Right. So this guy that's already done like a flawless run, like, I don't know if he did that in one sitting or not, but sure, it will be a speedrunning game, but it'll be so skill based in part of like not being able to get hit, you know, because like there's only so many seconds you could shave off of killing a boss just by default how much damage they could take.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. I love the game so much, Colin. It has gotten me because I keep my Xbox upstairs in our bedroom with a TV. It's the only console I have up here. You know, it's my all-in-one entertainment center: Netflix, WWE Network, Hulu, whatever. When we want to watch a movie or TV up here. But you know, occasionally I play games up here too because it's where my Xbox is. It's so good, Colin, that I have considered many times taking my Xbox downstairs and hooking it up down there. Just because I just want to be playing it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll come home for lunch breaks and start playing it. You know, I'll play for like 15 minutes before work type of thing. Like, that's... If this game was on the Switch, I would never put my Switch down. I know it'll never happen, but oh my god. That's just how much I want to play this game.
I don't know. It could happen like way down the road.
Yeah.
We don't know what the deal is with the exclusivity, because that's what everyone thought about with Limbo.
Sure.
And
or maybe Microsoft just wants to make some extra cash and they said, hey, we could sell this game on the Switch too.
That's true. I mean,
I would not put that past them.
There has been multiple games now that they're doing cross-play between Xbox One and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, I know this is Xbox week, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's kind of Microsoft. With the Nintendo 64 Classic, I'm thinking Banjo-Kazooie is going to be on there because they've been having such a nice relationship back and forth.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Prediction.
Yeah. Boom. There. So, yeah, Cuphead, man. It has been so long. It felt like it was never going to come out. Like, there was a point when I seriously considered if it was canceled or just, dropped.
I'm so happy for you, and I'm happy for everyone that was, including myself. I mean, I was excited about the game, but I'm so happy that it's well received and that it's sold over 1 million units already, which is just so deserved because a game like this does not come around that often.
No, it's special.
It's very special, and even me not liking the gameplay can immediately identify how special this game is.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what this developer does next, because this game was a long time coming and just an insane amount of work for such a crazy cool game. So.
I would instantly buy any DLC that they put out for this. Instantly.
Oh yeah, that's actually
more boss battles and stuff. Yeah, easily they could add more stuff.
That would be smart for them to do that.
Also, it is so rare these days that a game that had this much hype and anticipation behind it lives up to it 100%.
Yeah, usually when things get delayed, it's just like people are, one, not interested anymore, or the reason it got delayed is because the game is in so much trouble, and that last delay is like, well, we don't have any more money, so we have to release it.
Yeah. Or people are just like, I'm sick of talking about this, like, and they pick it apart because they're so frustrated that they had to wait for so long, and they feel bamboozled because they were hyped for 3 years and then it finally came out. But like, I get that you don't like playing it, but you're not saying that it's a bad game. You're not like, it's a you thing. It's not a game thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I've yet to hear anybody say anything negative. Like few little minor nitpicks, like, oh, weird default button scheme, but like you could totally change that. And people are just like, feel like they have to nitpick something because it's almost too good to be true. There's no way the game should look, sound, and play as perfectly as it is.
Sure. And it has a pretty interesting story too. Like it has such. What's weird about it is like, and I don't know how they possibly did this, but like it totally has like a 1930s cartoon like story.
Yeah.
Like it has like an old Mickey Mouse, because Mickey Mouse back in the day, man, if you watch those old cartoons, they are dark. They are super dark.
Yep.
So like it has that, even the story, which is very simplistic, has the total tone of that.
Mm-hmm. And the creativeness of all the different bosses, and it's insane, man.
I don't know how they did it. I don't get it. I just do not understand.
Unfortunately, like Limbo was good. Inside was really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am worried that like this game is just so good. This is going to be like the Journey for that game company. Like, how do you top Journey?
Yeah, man. I don't know if you've seen their new iPhone game, but it literally is Journey in the sky.
Yeah,
it's not. It doesn't look any different.
No,
so.
Nothing revolution. Like, sure, maybe there's gonna be something more to it or whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying though. Like,
I totally get like the.
There's so much expectations for this company now to do something as amazing as Cuphead next. I don't know how they don't just walk away from games altogether and just say, I'm out, done.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not an easy thing to do, and it's also like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Cuphead, man. Did you try playing co-op at all with your kid?
I did. I didn't play with my kid. I played with my dad, and he's good at shooters. He's not so good at platforming, so.
Okay.
But we did play it, and it was fun. Actually, I think I enjoyed it more playing with another person.
Sure.
But I don't think I could handle playing that with Hayden. I think it'd be just too.
Sharon, maybe?
I think he would be frustrated. Oh, Sharon would hate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she doesn't. She likes platforming. She doesn't like shooting.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I haven't tried with it, and I'm curious how that changes the experience. So
they are doing an update that will have online co-op in the near future. So,
that worries me though, because that's such a precise game.
And that's the reason why it didn't launch with it, because they're working on the net code to make it.
Oh god, that has to be
precise.
Flawless.
Yeah.
Oh. Cuphead, man. All I can say is I'm so glad it's here. I'm so glad that it happened. I'm so glad that it is exactly what we all hoped and expected it would be. I'm sorry that it's not your cup of tea.
Yes.
But
I feel I got mug manned out of my $20.
Do you though?
No, not really.
No.
That was just a really bad pun that didn't
You're
quite
happy
work.
to give it to him.
Didn't quite work there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nothing else, like I'm happy that I got to experience it, and it's cool because it's $20 on Steam, but it's also $20 on Xbox and Windows 10, so you can play. It's what's it called? Xbox Play Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a PC and you want to like play on there, it's you have one copy. So
run on my Mac.
if you do boot camp, which is basically like having two OSs on your Mac and boot up Windows, it'll run on it that way.
That's the thing?
Yep.
Huh. Who knew?
It's built in.
I don't ever want to look at a PC desktop ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has its pros and cons.
Does it?
It does.
Colin, thank you for another wonderful episode tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Next week we'll be talking about PlayStation. As we eagerly await the release of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. I think I'm just gonna throw this out there. We might be talking about the new South Park game next week.
Okay.
I put several hours into that already. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I've heard some interesting things about that game.
Oh, there's a lot of interesting things about it. It's questionable on many levels, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens between now and then. Where can people find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at PDX_geek.
And you can follow me on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Follow the show on Twitter at Joys of Games. And if you have an email for us anytime, joysofgames@gmail.com. That being said, Colin, I am going to sign off now so I can go play some more video games. I'm really just biding my time until Odyssey.
Yeah.
God, that looks so good.
Speaking of video games,
yeah.
It is October.
Uh-huh.
Everyone out there, you want a really great Halloween game?
Mm-hmm.
Download Costume Quest 1 and 2.
Ooh, there we go.
They are awesome basic basic RPGs that have tons of comedy, tons of charm.
Yeah.
Great story. Download those games.
Really good. Highly recommend.
Yes.
Thanks, Colin. Everybody else, go out there, play some games, enjoy them. Good night.